I've seen a number of videos and they were totally helpful for me to get through changing the transmission fluid on my 2005 Accord V6. Trying to replace the fluid was really the trick because on the '06 compared to my Honda Odyssey, the dipstick tube, where many people say to just add it that way, it's like a drinking straw. It's so small that trying to pour quarts of oil and then repeat that process for a flush, it just wasn't going to happen. And I had seen on the other videos that there was a plug for refilling, but that it was difficult to get to. And when I discovered that all I needed to do was remove one little clip that holds some sort of an electrical piece, not even sure what it is, that's just connected to the fuse box thing, but with a simple screwdriver, you can dislodge that clip, slide it off, and you have tons of room relative to if you don't remove it. And you can remove it with, I think I had an 18 millimeter end on my ratchet, pull that plug, stick a nice long funnel down there, fill it up fast, put the plug back in, run the car a little bit, check the levels, and then you can quickly access it again. Then replace that little clipped part, and you're done. And it's so easy that way. So I wanted you guys to have that. So here we go.
So we've got the '05 Accord up on its ramps. Coming underneath the driver's side of the car, you can see the drain plug right there, and you just put the end of the 3/8 ratchet in there. As you can see, it was pretty tight, so I grabbed a small mallet and hit the end of it and was able to loosen it up, let it drain out. It takes a while. The drain plug itself has a magnetic end, so you want to wipe that off. This happens to be my second time because I'm doing a flush, so there weren't any metal particles on it to wipe off. I did have to replace the washer because my original washer had been smashed to oblivion. Once tightened and cleaned up, we can move on to adding more fluid. This is the crux of the video where we need access to that automatic transmission fluid plug where we can get a nice funnel down in there, and so this next portion shows how to get there much more easily.
So in order to remove that, all I did was get in here, and with the screwdriver wedged, now this thing slides up and disconnects, and it gives you room to get down to the bolt down there that we need to get to, where we can add fluid and add our funnel. So now this piece just comes right up, fits nice obviously in that track, and when it slides down it just clicks in, and now that thing's in place. But this thing blocks you from what you're trying to get to. I got an 18 millimeter ratchet. Gonna need to do the double extension to reach it. Now I've got plenty of room to get in there. Ooh, zap! That was a little spark, so you know, maybe disconnecting the battery cable is a good idea. Now, what was so difficult the first time to reach, trying not to zap myself, I can now reach down in here and extract this piece. But the washer stayed down in there, so I'm going to grab the washer too, although it's sitting in a pretty good spot, but I wouldn't want to have that get bumped as I put the funnel in. So we're going to save that. And I'm going to reach down and get that washer, and it just sits right on top of the hole, and then your plug goes right in it. But it's a thin washer, very much like the one that, it's bigger, but it's the same as the one that was on the drain plug underneath. So now we're going to put in, according to the manual, 3.1 quarts in this automatic transmission, and then we will run it a little bit, measure it, and see if it needs any more. So easy compared to the first time with a little space, not much, but by removing that one piece that's just connected here to the fuse box, by pulling it, and then it kind of wedges, it slides up the track, and then it becomes two pieces loose. Plus with this thing mounted, I bet you might not even need to unmount these two. Just slide that one piece off, and it would give you just enough room to get to the nut, to get your hand in there, to get it started, to then crank it back on. So I'm guessing I probably didn't even need to take these out or remove this cover, because it would have slid off with the cover still in place. It would have prevented that spark. So you might try that instead. I'm gonna use Honda's ATF DW1. Got it for about $8.25 at the Honda dealer. Seemed like a fair price. And so now we'll replace the drain plug with the washer. Looks like how it goes. And now with the extra space, I should be able to reach it. Now with plenty of room, oh yeah, so much easier. Totally disconnect that thing. Like the amount of, like I had to get up and around and try and squeeze this head in, and I was fighting with it, finally dropped it. But that was so easy. So it is screwed on, and now I can start the engine for a minute, put it in forward and reverse even. We're still up on the blocks, so I'll actually back it off the blocks, and then we'll test it while it's on level ground, and then decide whether we want to add some more. And I'm not going to replace this stuff just yet because I'm expecting to have to pull that off again and redo this.
All right, so I think with practice, I could accomplish that entire job in about 30 minutes. Of course, trying to film it and do it with the first round, not having pulled that little clipped part off, the time was more and the struggle was more, but it's really a pretty easy job if you'll just remove that one clipped piece. So good luck with that, and hope this was helpful.